Today, I'm back with another mega physical media ranking video for you all. Today, I'm talking my top 5 most overrated Criterion titles in my personal collection and my top 5 underrated titles in my collection, and why you should absolutely consider picking up the underrated ones and why you should be very cautious on the overrated ones. And by overrated, I mean ones that everybody seems to love out there, but I think are just fine and are really missing something to make them the best out of the best out of the Criterion collection. And my underrated are ones I absolutely love, but not as many people care about or even know about or even really have in their collection, that I think you should definitely strongly consider picking up this Criterion sale month. So let's get into this. But before we do that, first, if you love collecting physical media just like me and being part of this amazing collecting community, go ahead and mega smash that like and subscribe. That way I can keep you entertained and up to date on all future Criterion collecting and physical media ranking videos. And leave in the comments below, what do you think of my overrated title picks? What do you think of my underrated title picks? And of course, what would fall under those for your personal choices? Of course, we're just having friendly fan conversations here, and it's just all about loving them movies we talk about. Let's get into this list here, starting with the overrated titles, in my opinion, for Criterion Collection. And first up, we're gonna have Arsenic and Old Lace. Yes, I do really like this movie. It's great for spooky season, but why I have to put it on the overrated list is because you got barely any special features in here. It's bare bones. Unfortunately, there's no interviews and long featurettes or full-length documentaries, nothing like that. You have, I think, a commentary, maybe a trailer in there, and that's about it. If I buy a Criterion title, I want them packing in those bonus features, because that's why I'm buying such a fancy, expensive boutique label. I just want to watch the movie. I can do that in another way, a cheaper way. And so, even though I really like this movie and encourage people should watch during spooky season, do you need a Criterion Collection one of this one? I would definitely reconsider if you're on a budget. But like I said, it's tough because I love the movie, but also because, hey, Criterion, I think you could have done a better job with this one. Get some interviews from some relatives, even though I know people passed away, get a distant relative maybe to share some thoughts on the movie. I don't know, just work with what you got out there, Criterion. I think we can do better. All right, next up, we got to have To Die For. Yes, that Nicole Kidman face. How could you say no to that one, right? I actually really love this movie, and I think the 4K does look quite clean. It's like a mystery thriller crime movie of sorts, and Nicole Kidman as great as always, of course. And you got other great cast members in here with Joaquin Phoenix. And I do really like this movie, but what made me so upset, kind of like Arsenic and Old Lace, when I was done with the movie, I wanted to dive into the special features, see if they had a making of and had some interviews with these amazing cast members, and they really didn't. It was very bare bones. Once again, not much to really dive into. And I'm like, you have such a good movie here, but why don't we have more special features? And this doesn't have the excuses like Arsenic and Old Lace, because that one's old, right? So it's tougher to get, interviews from people living. This one, this is modern. These actors are alive. You got Nicole Kidman up there. You got Joaquin Phoenix. Go get some interviews, people. Okay, something. You could have done something to get a little bit cool of a featurette or documentary in here. I think they just bare bones it, and they could have done better. So even though I really like the movie, should check out the movie, of course, I just think the special features weren't up to snuff on here, unfortunately. All right, next up, we got to have one that actually has pretty good special features. And we're going to have The Royal Tenenbaums. Yes, a Wes Anderson title. And I'm a massive Wes Anderson fan. I like all the movies I've seen of his. And even though this is a solid title, I think everybody overhypes this one. Some people say this is his best title of all time. This is great Wes Anderson work right here. And I think it's once again solid, but I don't absolutely love it. And every time I rewatch it, it's a little bit less and less funny to me. It's not laugh out loud, hilarious, funny. I much prefer like a Rushmore or go to some other works like Fantastic Mr. Fox. I think those other movies definitely keep up more and are better on the rewatches, whereas The Royal Tenenbaums, I'm kind of one and done. So even though there's good special features in here, I just feel like this is a weaker Wes Anderson title. So even though I like to hype up Wes Anderson, I'm going to have to, also kind of, bring him down a little bit here with The Royal Tenenbaums. I don't know if you need to have this one in your collection, rewatch it all the time. Maybe a one and done for you as well. So yeah, there we go. Sorry, Wes Anderson. I know I did you dirty there a little bit. All right, next up, we got to have After Hours. Yes, this movie was so hyped up from Martin Scorsese, and it seems a lot of people like this one and think it's absolutely hilarious. Even though I'm a fan of dark comedy and I did get some laughs and chuckles and grins out of here, it's not like hardcore laughing, falling out of your seat. I don't think this is a crowd pleaser. It's really for a niche comedic audience. And like I said, it's not just your typical comedy. It's really dark comedy, and you got to get some subtle moments in here. But also the story is just kind of really just thrown together in such a bizarre way where everything's so coincidental, and this thing leads to that, and that leads to that, and it has to happen all so perfectly. And then by the end, it's just this person is back to where they were already. Was it really a massive character arc there? So even though there's some decent acting talent in here, and it's kind of a funny gimmick of a premise, I just don't know if I can rewatch this one all the time. And even though it's a Marty Scorsese title, I think this is one of his weaker titles. This is no The Wolf of Wall Street, in my opinion. You ain't laughing out of your seat on this one. I just, yeah, sorry, it hyped up a little bit too much for me. Even though I like it, I don't think everybody will like this one. So I will say overrated. All right, next up, like I said, there's some hot takes on here, right? And another hot take for Martin Scorsese, we gotta have them mean streets, right? They ain't nice streets, they're mean. Well, this to me is another weaker Martin Scorsese title, and I'm a massive Martin Scorsese fan, but this is no Casino. This is no Goodfellas. This is very classic. This is very low budget. It's very slow moving. Yeah, you got some great acting in here, like Robert De Niro and whatnot. And they work with what they have, don't get me wrong, but because it's one of his earlier movies and they don't just have enough budget to really push this to the next level, I think this is a weaker crime drama from Martin Scorsese. There's better crime dramas from Marty out there. Like I said, Goodfellas, Casino, I just think they're better. And sorry, so Mean Streets, I can't overly hype this one. Then also people had some issues with the transfer here where how much grain do you want, is it too grainy, all that stuff. So that's just another little slight mark against it. I thought it looked fine, but other people are picky on that kind of stuff. So because there are some marks against it now, I gotta say this one is overrated. Not everybody should have this one in their collection. I think if you go too hyped in to this one, you're probably going to be disappointed. I just don't want you guys to be disappointed out there. You got to go in with the right expectations for all those overrated titles, even though they do have their merits. And I said I do like them, they're still overrated in my opinion. Like I said, I don't know if they're for everyone. All right, now let's get into the underrated titles. Once again, these are titles I absolutely love that I don't think enough people shout out there and not enough people pick up. And yeah, so where I do Wes Anderson wrong, I got to hype him up again. I'm going to say Moonrise Kingdom. I really like the design of this Criterion. It's kind of a digibook style, just looks different. I like when Criterion does different covers, so that's a bonus point here. But this is a coming of age story. It's a young romance in here, which I think everybody can relate to. Coming of age stories, right? You grew up, you can relate to this stuff. It still has his wacky humor and his whimsical filmmaking. There's some really cool moments in here, and it's very artistic, but it's an easy, relatable story. And not everybody talks about Moonrise Kingdom. Everybody's saying Roll Tenenbaums and Rushmore and Fantastic Mr. Fox, and you pretty much hear every other Wes Anderson title before you get to Moonrise Kingdom. I think that's a dang shame. I think Moonrise Kingdom is very, very good, and more people can relate to this one than probably the Royal Tenenbaums, right? A rich family having some issues, right? Moonrise Kingdom, coming of age story, I think is highly, highly relatable. So I really like this one. And you got a great cast in here as always. The typical Wes Anderson usual suspects with like Ed Norton and all of them. So yeah, really, really like this one. Can't hype it up enough. All right, next up, we gotta have, let's say this title. It's a mad, 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 mad world. Did I get all the mads in there? I hope I did. But this is a classic comedy. But to me, this is one of the greatest comedies of all time that still keeps up to today. If you've seen Rat Race, that's pretty much a modern remake of this one. But I love this Criterion edition, and not enough people talk about this one anymore. And this one's really cool. You got amazing special features in here. They even have the longer edition of this movie in here, which I wasn't expecting. You thought the theatrical cut was long enough. Well, let me tell you, there's a longer one to really freaking go all out with Mad, 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 Mad World. And I really liked it. And an all-star cast, of course. I mean, it's pretty much all the comedic geniuses of that time. I mean, heck, you even got Three Stooges cameo in there. So really fun, entertaining movie. If you're a comedy fan, you got to have this title in your collection. It doesn't get talked about as much anymore. So yeah, pick this one up. Don't miss out on this one if you're new to Criterion Collection and you're a comedic fan. All right, let's go. All right, moving on as we can hopefully still talk here. We got to have, Pinocchio. I just recently picked this one up and I really love this title. It's not just for kids. I know animated titles sometimes get a bad rep where people say, oh, it's for the kiddies out there. It's an animated title. But this is not your mama's Pinocchio story, okay? This is not the Disney one. This is Guillermo del Toro's vision, and the stop motion animation work here is absolutely stunning and beautiful, and it's just so artistic how they put the story together. It's really dark. There's tragic moments in here. It does not shy away from that, but there's great life lessons. And I love the voice cast here. I mean, Ian McGregor as Jiminy Cricket. Oh my gosh, phenomenal! Everybody does so good in this movie. And Criterion went all out with this one. The packaging is phenomenal. When you take it out, you can actually have a little Pinocchio nose go around the whole cover, which is a really cool touch that I love. And how it closes, it's awesome. And then also all bonus features. It goes into all the stop motion animators, and there's really long featurettes in here that just give you more appreciation of the movie. And so it's a great movie, great quality transfer, great special features, great packaging. Like I said, home run out of the park with Pinocchio from Criterion. So I think this is an absolute needed Criterion title that I still think is underrated. Not as much people talk about this one anymore, and it's so good. Don't let Pinocchio pass you by now. All right, next up, another animated title, and we're gonna have Wally. And I absolutely love Wally. And once again, it's not just a story for kids here, guys. You got to get away from thinking of that way from animated titles. This is one that's perfect for the whole family, and it was perfect for Criterion Collection. I mean, the first half is like a silent romantic movie. It's so artistic in a way, and then the second half does get a little bit more mainstream, blockbustery, and action packed. But I like that little double combo there. But Criterion did a beautiful job with this one. They added in the Dolby Vision, which I don't think was on the other standard 4K release Disney did. So it just looks even better on here. You also have amazing special features. Like you have tons and tons of special features. That's the ding of special features out there that you can just have hours and hours watching. I mean, you probably need 3 days to get through the special features alone just to see how they really made this movie so artistically, and just the dedication and time they really put into this, one of Pixar's best movies out there. Beautiful animation. You got it. This is the definitive version of this movie, Criterion Collection, Wally. I just can't highly recommend enough for the whole family. Absolutely love this one. It's so good. Packaging just beautiful. Once again, I love this digibook, and it's a little bit thicker, which is nice. So amazing. Wally is fantastic. All right, and then my top one here for underrated titles, Shaft. Yes, we're gonna have to go with Shaft here, and I'm gonna tell you why. Besides it being a really good movie where it's kind of like a James Bond 70s type of movie, the music is so catchy and whatnot, right? The theme song for Shaft is so good. Besides it being an entertaining movie and of course the 4K looking gorgeous, this also puts another movie in here, the sequel to Shaft, Shaft's Big Score, which is awesome. You get two movies, but not only that, it's two movies for the price of one. This one was only like 25 bucks during the sale season, and you got two movies. Now Criterion kind of ups their prices on the multiple movie stuff, like the Freak set, right? Is more expensive because they included the other movies. Even the Last Picture Show, they included the sequel in there, and that one was a little bit more expensive. But Shaft, they did not increase the price, but they increased the value of what you get here, and tons of special features. Once again, I mean, like I said, 3 discs in here. It's outrageous. It's so great what they were able to pack in. And like I said, good movie, good solid transfer, good everything here. Criterion went all out. I love the colors and the packaging too. So beautiful. Yeah, Shaft is excellent, excellent. Highly recommend. I can't I can't, you can't undersell this. This one is so good. I mean, oversell, right? That's another ding of amazingness right there that people just absolutely love Shaft, and I highly recommend. You gotta pick this one up. It's so good. But there we go. Those once again are my top five underrated titles, top five overrated titles. And once again, you guys have to let me know in the comments below, out of your personal collection, what would you consider overrated? What would you consider underrated? Once again, this is all just subjective opinions. We're just having a fun time talking movies. And like I said, I do like all these movies for one reason or another. But like I said, those underrated ones I just think need to be appreciated even a little bit more. But there we go. Have those fun movie conversations down below. If you haven't already, mega smash that like and subscribe, as I will keep you entertained and up to date all Criterion sales season long, and even past that. We're always talking amazing physical media topics on here. So if you love collecting like me, you're in the right spot. Turn on that notification bell so you're alerted when a new video posts. And just have a great day watching the movies. Of course, you love this physical media topic. You want to mega smash that next video right now. It's another good Criterion one, I'm sure. And also, I'll link some more Criterion videos in the description below. And thank you so much, my mega membership supporters. If you love talking and collecting movies, consider joining the Mega League of Film Fans through memberships to support content creation while gaining access to perks like shoutouts, exclusive videos, and future topic choices.